Hey guys, and welcome back to Ados the Great YouTube channel. So guys, in today's video, I'll be giving you my tips for NRL round 18. But before we jump into the round 18 tips, I want to go through how I went in round 17. Now, before I do that, guys, if you could leave a like and subscribe, it really helps the growth of the channel and all that good stuff. And obviously, you can see I have yet to get my new PC. Hopefully, when tax comes in, I'll be able to afford one. But until then, we're just running with it how we've got it at the moment. Once I do have that new PC, though, everything is going to run a lot better. So I got me fingers crossed we can get it done and get that new PC built by the end of July, maybe by the end of August, the latest. But if money is a problem, it probably won't happen until next year. All right, let's jump into this one though, guys. So, round 17, I got 5 from 8. Not great, not bad. I started the week really well. We backed in the Panthers to win by 4. They won by 2. One thing I have been pretty good with is my margins this year, but unfortunately, this one wasn't it. Penrith. Oh, well, the tip was good, but the margin we just missed. But yeah, took Panthers to win it. Was arguably the best game of the year. This had grand final written all over it. Cracking game of footy. Penrith seem like they're back. So good win there for the Panthers. Bulldogs, nothing bad to say about the Bulldogs. I think this is just two teams that came to play and bought their A game for 80 minutes. So really, really great game of footy. Speaking of tight games of footy, this one was 6-0 at halftime. Manly did run away with it, which we did predict they would do. But it was a pretty disappointing game of footy, to be fair. Manly didn't look as good as they normally do. And the Tigers, they weren't great either, to be honest. Well, they were actually abysmal, if I'm being honest with you. Both teams looked horrible. Fingers crossed Manly play like that next week against us, because I would like to think the Rabbitohs could get a win if Manly came out the way they did in this one. But we get the tip right. We move on. Next up was the Raiders and the Knights. I did say I wouldn't be surprised if Newcastle posed a bit of a threat here and caused a potential upset. It got close, it did. But lucky we stuck with the Raiders there. They get the job done. We move on to the Saturday game. All right, the first game was the Broncos and the Warriors. I thought the Warriors would get the job done here. They play quite well away. They've had a really good home and away record, to be fair. The Warriors were playing pretty good. Broncos, I think they have found form finally. I think Ezra Mam really, really compliments Adam Reynolds well. So, yeah, I think Broncos, they're moving in the right direction. Warriors, look, Luke Metcalf got injured early. Chance Nickel-Clockstad injured as well. So, both players, massive players in each of these sides. In the Warriors side. So that does, cause the Warriors not to be at their best, in my opinion. So it's a disappointing result there. We thought the Warriors would get the job done. They didn't. Credit to the Broncos. Good win. Dragons and the Eels. Dragons get the job done 34-20. I backed in Parry here. I thought they'd be up for this game. And they did make a comeback. I think it was 26-20 at one point. But the Dragons too good. Great win there. And a really, really strong performance from St. George. All right, next up, obviously I backed in my Rabbitohs to get the job done against the Dolphins. I attended this game. It was a horrible game. If you want to see the issues I had with Queensland Rail, go over to my TikTok and you can hear my rant on there. But disappointing result for us Rabbitohs fans. You hate to see it. You hate to see your team concede 50. And this was this was one of those horrible performances. We finally start to get some players back, and then we dish up this, man. We were better when we had a worse team. It's honestly it. Storm and Sharks. Storm get the job done 30 points to 6. Pretty much called this one. I thought Storm would be dominant. I didn't think they'd be this dominant, but really, really strong win there for Melbourne. Jerome Hughes, absolute masterclass in this one. Scored a try, 2 try assists. He looks so good. So credit to the Storm. And then we backed the Cowboys to beat the Titans. Good win for the Cowboys, but not convincing, man. The Titans looked all right in this one. They started off pretty poorly, but, they played quite well in my opinion. So credit to both sides. I thought it was a decent game of footy. A few errors, a few ill discipline here and there, but all in all, a decent game of football. All right, on to round 18. This one will only have 5 games due to state of origin the week after. So before we get into this one, though, guys, again, if you could leave a like and subscribe, as I said, really helps the growth of the channel. Without you guys, I'd be nothing. So if you could leave that like, it'd mean the absolute world to me. All right, doggies and Broncos. Now, the Bulldogs. This is an interesting one. So the Bulldogs will obviously be without captain Stephen Crichton. They won't have Jacob Kiraz. They won't have Kurt Mann either, or Max King. So that's a lot of players out. The Broncos, obviously, no Pat Carrigan, no Payne Haas, probably no Reece Walsh in this one. I would say he probably gets selected for the Maroons. I think the Broncos probably struggle in this game, to be honest. Both sides with a lot of players out, but I think the Doggies have a better, supporting cast than the Broncos. So I'm going to go the Bulldogs here. I think they will be too good there against the Broncos. It is at home for the Dogs as well, so they should come away with a win in that game. Could be wrong with that. I probably am, to be fair, but yeah, I'm going to go Doggies. I'm going to go 1-12. I don't think it'll be a 13-plus win, and I'm going to go Bronson Cherry anytime try scorer there. All right, next up, we've got the Canberra Raiders taking on the Dragons here at Canberra. Dragons will obviously be without Valentine Holmes. I don't think they miss any other players, though. So it'll just be Val Holmes. Raiders could potentially be without Josh Papali'i. I have heard that there are rumours of him getting a recall to the Queensland side. Look, I still think the Raiders win, and I do think they win quite comfortably. I think the Dragons will struggle without Valentine Holmes there. He was incredible on the weekend and a massive reason why the Dragons got the job done. I think the Raiders win this one. I'm going to say by 16. I think it'll be a very strong performance there for the Raiders. So Raiders, obviously 13 plus, and I'm going to go Ethan Strange to score any time in that one. All right, next up, we've got the Cowboys taking on the Melbourne Storm. Both of these sides will have players out for Origin. Storm will be missing Trent Liero, Cam Munster, Harry Grant, and Xavier Coates, and Stefano Utuikamanu. So quite a few players there, but I do feel like Storm will have enough coming up to replace them, whereas the Cowboys, obviously without maybe Murray Taulagi as well. If Hammer gets moved to fullback, if Reece Walsh doesn't get selected at fullback, Murray Taulagi comes right back into that side as well. So that could be a potential there. They'll be without Tom Dearden. They'll be without, just trying to think, Nanai, Robson, Cotter. I think that might be it. I'm probably missing someone, but the Cowboys, I think the players the Cowboys are missing are going to be harder to replace than the ones that Storm are missing. Obviously, you've got Bronson Garlick that can come in for Grant. You've got Tyron Wishart that can come in for Munster. If Billy Warbrick's good, he'll come in for Xavier Coates. I don't know when he's due back, though. So I do think Storm win this one. And I actually, up in North Queensland, I think the Cowboys can keep it close. Like, they've still got firepower with Drinkwater and stuff like that. But Storm should win this one. I'm going to say a 1-12 margin, though, because up in North Queensland, I do think the Cowboys will keep it close. Let's see who's won the last 3 games. I think Cowboys actually the Cowboys have won 2 of the last 3 games against the Storm. They've won both their last 2 games up in North Queensland. So they're every chance at winning this game. But yeah, I'm going to go Storm 1-12. I reckon Ryan Pappenhausen scores in this one. And 1-12 there. All right, next up we've got the Roosters taking on the Tigers. Tigers will likely be without Jerome Luai, Terrell May will play. The Roosters, they got that next man up mentality, but they'll be without uh, Connor Watson, Spencer Lenu, Angus Crichton, and Robert Toyer. Roosters have been missing a lot of firepower in their team. Now they generally will, but they're on a bit of a roll at the moment. I think they tend to play pretty well against the Tigers. Oh yeah, yeah. In their last three meetings, they have put on 144 points to 20. Roosters by 20. I think Roosters win this one really easily there. I would say Nwanga Nitawase scores a double at the very least. I think this is going to be one-way traffic, even with the players they've got out. Yeah, Roosters win and win big. All right, the last game of the weekend, we got the South Sydney Rabbitohs taking on the Manly Sea Eagles. Obviously, you know who I'm tipping already, but let's go through and see. So the Rabbitohs have won two of their last three games against the Sea Eagles. Manly won't be missing any players to Origin. Rabbitohs will obviously be without Latrell Mitchell. Outside of that, pretty full-strength side for Souths. I would say either Tyrone Munro or Alex Johnston moves to fullback and Isaiah Tass comes onto the wing. You could also see Jack Whiten moving into the halves with Cody Walker likely to be ruled out of this one. Jaden Sullivan is unavailable, and I don't think they bring in Lewis Dodd. So I'd say the halves pairing will be Whiten and Humphreys. Obviously, I'm backing in my boys, and I generally do believe we can win this game. But it's gonna be a tough ask. It is definitely going to be a tough ask. Manly, when they're on, they're a damn good team, and they've got Tom Trbojevic there firing in the centres. He is going to be a hard player to contain. Leo Hopewadi's looking damn good as well. So, look, I'm backing in my Rabbitohs. I generally do believe we can win this one. I think they get the job done 1-12, and you just can't go past an Alex Johnston anytime try scorer. All right, let me know your tips down below in the comments, guys. Again, if you could leave a like and subscribe, it'd mean the absolute world to me. Would be nothing without you guys, as I say every single time. And as always, my friends, I will see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.